Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome again to MK Education Live YouTube streaming. Today is March 17, 2021, and it's 2 o'clock in Korean time and Chinese time, but it's 1 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. So today we will be talking about March 17. What is a value of March 17 and why is it important for some other people this March 17? Why is March 17 is celebrated in England and other countries? So if you can see, I have prepared some background music because today we will be talking about Saint Patrick's Day. Who is Saint Patrick and what's the role of Saint Patrick to the lives of the people, especially the Catholic or the Roman Catholic, the Christians who believes that there are some God or that there are some miracles happening in our daily lives. We would also go back to the history in the years where Saint Patrick was born, and this time I prepared some slides for you to know him. So we will be starting. This is Saint Patrick, and we will know who he is and why we are celebrating his day today, March 17. Saint Patrick's Day, that is March 17, that is today, that is an annual celebration of the patron saint of Ireland. It is a national holiday in Ireland today, and millions of Irish people all over the world where there are Irish communities celebrate. Celebrations are based on all things Irish and the color green. You can see a while ago from the picture that Saint Patrick's dress or the one that he's wearing is also colored green. City authorities in Chicago even dyed the city's river green for this day. Even the river became green, but of course they add chemicals with it to become green. Many people also wear green clothes, eat Irish food and drink the Irish drink Guinness, which many bars also try and dye green. There are also traditional St. Patrick Days parades. Color green is the official color of St. Patrick. The history and meaning of St. Patrick's Day and symbols. in Dublin is spread over 5 days and attracts 500,000 people. The New York parade is the largest, with 2 million spectators. Many people with no Irish connections celebrate and declare themselves Irish for a day. Saint Patrick was a Christian missionary. Some scholars say he was born in England, while others believe he was Italian. Most agree he lived in the 5th century. When he was 16, he was captured and taken as a slave to Ireland. He lived as a slave for 6 years before escaping. He joined the church to train as a priest and became a missionary in the north and west of Ireland. Legend has it that Patrick drove all the snakes out of Ireland. This time, miracles happened. The snakes drove away from Ireland because of Saint Patrick. There are many other legends about Patrick that have cemented him as a key part of Irish culture. March 17 is believed to be the date of his death. Unlike other saints, Patrick was never canonized by a pope, although most Christian churches list him as a saint in heaven. The life of Patrick was never been easy. Of course, he is also human. He suffered a lot. He experienced a lot. Too much. But because of his faith and belief in God, he survived. History of St. Patrick's Day. As St. Patrick's Day is celebrated annually or on March 17, the anniversary of his death in the 5th century. The Irish have observed this day as a religious holiday for over 1,000 years. On St. Patrick's Day, which, which falls during the Christian season of Lent. Irish families would traditionally attend church in the morning and celebrate in the afternoon. Lenten prohibitions against the consumption of meat were waived and people would dance, drink and feast on the traditional meal of Irish bacon and cabbage. Saint Patrick, who lived during the 5th century, is the patron saint of Ireland and its national apostle, born in Roman Britain. He was kidnapped and brought to Ireland as a slave at the age of 16. He later escaped but returned to Ireland and was credited with bringing Christianity to its people. In the centuries following Patrick's death, believed to have been on March 17, 461, the mythology surrounding his life became even more ingrained in the Irish culture. Perhaps the most well-known legend of Saint Patrick is that he explained the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, using the 3 leaves of a native Irish clover, the shamrock. When was the first St. Patrick's Day celebrated? Since around the 9th or 10th century, people in Ireland have been observing the Roman Catholic feast day of St. Patrick on March 17. The first St. Patrick's Day parade took place not in Ireland but in America. Records show that as a St. Patrick's Day parade was held on March 17, 1601 in a Spanish colony in what is now St. Augustine, Florida. The parade and a St. Patrick's Day celebration a year earlier were organized by the Spanish colony's Irish Vicar Ricardo Arthur. More than a century later, homesick Irish soldiers serving in the English military marched in New York City on March 17, 1772 to honor the Irish patron saint. Enthusiasm for the St. Patrick's Day parades in New York City, Boston, and early American cities only grew from there. The Chicago River dyed green. As Irish immigrants spread out over the United States, other cities developed their own traditions. One of these is Chicago's annual dyeing of the Chicago River green. The practice started in 1962, when city pollution control workers used dyes to trace illegal sewage discharges and realized that the green dye might provide a unique way to celebrate the holiday. That year, they released 100 pounds of green vegetable dye into the river, enough to keep it green for a week. Today, in order to minimize environmental damage, only 40 pounds of dye are used, and the river turns green for only several hours. Since around the 9th or 10th century, people in Ireland have been observing the Roman Catholic feast, Day of St. Patrick, on March 17. The first St. Patrick's Day parade took place in Ireland, but in America. Records show that the St. Patrick's Day parade was held on March 17, 1601, in a Spanish colony in what is now St. Augustine, Florida. The parade and the St. Patrick's Day celebration a year earlier were organized by the Spanish colony Irish Vicar Ricardo Arthur. More than a century later, homesick Irish soldiers serving in the English military march in New York City on March 17, 1772, to honor the Irish patron saint. Enthusiasm for the St. Patrick's Day parades in New York City, Boston, and other early American cities only grew from there. That is the life of St. Patrick, the celebration of the Irish people, every March 17 in each year. The celebration is believed to be miraculous because of being in a celebration and being part of the celebration wearing green color will receive blessing from God. Thank you very much for everybody for today. Today again is March 17 in the year of 2021, and we are celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Thank you for all those who will view this video. For more information about St. Patrick, you can find his information, of course, from the internet. Everybody, thank you very much and have a great day. God bless us all.